Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to our Guru Maharaj. I welcome everyone to His Holiness Chandramouli Swami Maharaj's daily call. Today, we are very fortunate to have Her Grace Radha Vinodini Mataji after a long time to give us class on the topic of CC Adi Leela 17.71 verse. It's the topic is Vaisnava aparadha in the mind. So Mataji has chosen a very nice topic to enlighten us all, all of us. Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Our Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Mataji, for coming and giving us this topic. We are very eagerly waiting for your class. Thank you, Mataji. You can please take over. I made you co-host. You can share yours. Thank you, Mataji.
Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to Guru Maharaj. So actually, I was fortunate with this topic too. Just let me share some personal feelings with you. We just had a Holy Name Festival this weekend in the Budapest temple, and I was one of the organizers. And you know, organizing is always difficult because sometimes we hear some opinions from devotees, or they don't do what they should do, and these criticizing thoughts come into the mind. And I was thinking, oh, maybe I should speak to my authority how to properly approach this topic, but somehow the opportunity didn't come. And then on Thursday, I just got this topic to give class about this, and I just realized, okay, the Lord reciprocated. So I had the opportunity to meditate on this topic, and it was very, very useful. So I just thought that I will reuse this, because to prepare for of another verse would have been difficult, but I think it's such a nice topic that it might be useful for everyone. So I will just share the verse. Okay. So, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda. So the verse is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 17, verse 71. Haridasa Thakurere Karila Prasada Acharya Stane Matara Kandaila Parada. Srila Prabhupada's translation. After this incident, the Lord blessed Haridas Thakur and vanquished the offense of his mother at the home of Advaita Acharya. Srila Prabhupada's purport. On the Mahaprakasha day, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced Haridas Thakur and informed him that he was none other than an incarnation of Prahlad Maharaj. When Vishwarup took sannyas, Shachimata thought that Advaita Acharya had persuaded him to do so. Therefore, she accused Advaita Acharya of this, which was an offense at his lotus feet. Later, Lord Chaitanya induced his mother to take the dust of Advaita Acharya's lotus feet, and thus her Vaisnava aparadha was nullified. Om Magyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Svaminite Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh Pasyatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Chandramouli Swaminiti Namine. So this verse is partly about this topic, which I would like to speak about. This second part is about Shachimata, who is very very intimate and very elevated devotee of Lord Chaitanya. And she had made an offense towards Advaita Acharya. So the whole story goes like this, that Vishwarup, who was the elder brother of Lord Chaitanya, he used to go to the house of Advaita Acharya. And he listened to Srimad Bhagavatam there, and they did kirtan together. So, you know, these are the processes which elevate everybody. And at some point, Vishwarup became so detached that he just left his home and took sannyas. And obviously, it was very, very difficult for Shachimata, who obviously very much loved him. And because Vishwarup was going to Advaita Acharya's house, Shachimata had this idea that probably he influenced her son to took sannyas, and that was there in her mind. And at some point later on, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu shared this with his mother, that my dear mother, you will never be able to go back to Godhead, and you won't be able to achieve Krishna's mercy because you made an offense in your mind against Sri Advaita Acharya. And you know, Shachimata wasn't a great philosopher or something, so it was a very simple thing for her. Actually, he didn't react the way most of us would probably react. What did I do? I didn't do anything against him. How can you say that, or something like that? You know, many times we just think that, oh, I didn't make any mistake. How could this be? But her first reaction was that what did I do? She really became frightened what she might have done, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told her this whole story, that when your son Vishwarup was going many times to Advaita Acharya's house and listened to Srimad Bhagavatam there, and chanted kirtan there, and later on he took sannyas. In your mind, you blamed Advaita Acharya for this. And this is the reason that because you made an offense against the lotus feet of Advaita Acharya, then there is no hope for you to go back to achieve Krishna consciousness. And again, Shachimata's reaction was so pure that she immediately was thinking that, okay, what can I do to rectify this offense? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that the only way to do this is that you have to take the dust of the lotus feet of Advaita Acharya. And Shachimata was thinking about this, but she said that how could I do it, because Advaita Acharya looks up to me as his mother, because I am your mother. And also, even if I try to take it by force, you know, he's much greater, much stronger than me. I won't be able to do that. How is it possible for me to do that? So again, her thought wasn't that, oh, I don't want to do this, or I'm more elevated than him, or something like that. She just immediately considered the possibilities. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that, but dear mother, this is the only way. And this way, he really wanted to show to the world that even if someone is such an elevated devotee, such a close associate of him, even then it's very serious topic, very serious thing to commit a Vaisnava aparadha. And so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came up with a plan that when Advaita Acharya will come, then I will manifest my glory to to him, and at that time he will pay obeisances. And at that time, you can come from the back and take the dust of his lotus feet. So this is what happened. Advaita Acharya paid obeisances, and then from the back came Sachinata and took the dust of Advaita Acharya's lotus feet. And when Advaita Acharya realized what actually had happened, then he really became very embarrassed. That oh my dear mother, how could you do this? And then Shachimata admitted that that I'm really sorry, Advaita Acharya. I committed an offense to you because in my mind I blamed you for Vishwarup taking sannyas. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also explained to Advaita Acharya that that in order to Shachimata to be purified, it was necessary to show to the world that that nobody can be kind and beloved to Krishna who commits aparadha against devotees. So I very much liked this story because we many times hear about Vaisnava aparadha, but there are a few interesting things in this this story. One thing is that let's start with this first one. Yeah. So many times when we do something which we shouldn't do, we have something to cling on to, because you know, we always hear that, oh, in Kali Yuga, fortunately, whatever we commit in our mind, that doesn't have any reaction. So sometimes we don't really consider that if there is something in our minds against Vaishnavas, it can be a problem. But you know, we hear about how serious Vaishnava aparadha is. So we many times hear that this is the mad elephant offense, because if an elephant goes into a garden, there are two things happening. One is that everything becomes destroyed. Small creepers, flowers, but even big trees. So the destruction is really, really big. But the other thing is that this whole destruction happens really fast. So great destruction within a very short period of time. And the similar thing happens to us, that when we commit an offense, then our good qualities become destroyed really fast. And there is this verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 18, verse number 7, that Maharaj Parikshit was a realist like the bees who only accept the essence of a flower. He knew perfectly well that in this age of Kali, auspicious things produce good effects immediately, whereas inauspicious acts must be actually performed to render effects. So he was never envious of the personality of Kali. So yeah, this is what we very much like to remember, that yeah, we are in Kali Yuga, so this is one of the fortunate things that we don't have to pay attention so much to our thoughts, because if we don't commit something in reality, I mean, not in our minds, then there might not be so much of a problem. But there are two things about this, and one is that I'm just trying to search it here in the purport. Yeah, so by the will of the Lord, a living being does not become a victim of a sinful act until the act is actually performed. And I was very much think about this because there is a difference between sinful activities and offenses. Obviously, offenses are also sinful activities, but greater in effect. So here, according to my understanding, it speaks about sinful activities generally, but offenses in some senses are a different category. And to understand this, let's check out what are the different categories of Vaisnava aparadha. There are 6 categories, and the first one is, well, it's very much in action. The most serious thing is to kill Vaisnava. And luckily, generally, we don't have to deal with that one because it's really such a thing which we usually don't do. But it's a sinful activity. It's against the laws, and it's really a serious thing on every level. So this is the most serious offense against Vaishnavas. The second one, which is a bit not so strong, but I mean this is also very bad offense, is to blaspheme a devotee, Vaishnava. And Srila Prabhupada said about this that what it means to blaspheme is that when a devotee has so many good qualities, but we just grab one, and it can be that it's some small bad quality, or sometimes it happens that we create a bad quality, which the devotee don't even have. So it's a created or maybe also existing bad quality. And we just make this as the character description of that devotee. So we don't bother with all the good qualities which he or she has, but this is what really describes this devotee, this bad quality. And unfortunately, this is more likely relevant for us because many times we start to criticize, and it's yeah, so it's relevant. A little bit less serious, but also serious, envious of a devotee. And I would like to emphasize here that being envious can be that it's only in the mind, and is the third most serious offense against the Vaishnava. So here we really start to have to pay attention because it might be also relevant for us. I will speak a little bit more about envy later, but so this is the third most serious offense. And then the fourth is to be angry at a devotee. It's also many times just in the mind. Sometimes it manifests in words and actions, both envy and anger, but sometimes it's only in the mind. The fifth in the line is not to show proper respect to a devotee. And the last one, the sixth, is when we see a Vaishnava and we are not happy. And you know, I remember when I first read this list that actually it's so, it doesn't seem to be a serious thing. Sometimes we see people and we are not happy, and maybe I'm just in my thoughts or something, but even this is an offense. So we should be alarmed really very much to be conscious about how we approach devotees, because this really shows how important the devotees are to the Lord. And And yeah, this leads to this topic that whatever elevated the devotee can be, if he or she commits an offense, like Sachi Mata did, then the results are serious. And I just read, it was a quote from one of the classes of Radha Swami. He spoke about Durvasa Muni. Obviously, Durvasa Muni's case was somewhat different because he wasn't a devotee. His situation was somewhat different, but he also committed an offense against a devotee. And this is what Radha Swami said about this. Durvasa Muni wanted to chastise Maharaj Ambarish. It is to be understood that he wanted to give pain to the heart of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For the Lord says, Sadhavo Hridayam Mayam, the pure devotee is always within the core of my heart. So probably Durvasa Muni's intention wasn't that, okay, I want to cause pain to Lord Narayan or something like that. But the fact was this, that because he wasn't conscious about Krishna, about Vishnu, and the position of devotees, it resulted in actually hurting the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not just Ambarish Maharaj. And the other thing is that who to consider is that whom we shouldn't commit offenses against. So we shouldn't commit offenses against sannyasis or just against Prabhupada disciples or like, you know, elevated devotees, because many times the Shastra speaks about these kind of devotees. But I remember once when Guru Maharaj gave a class in New Rajadam, and there was this question and answers session. And I asked him about that I heard, I think it was from Bhakti Vinod Thakur, that we should participate only in kirtans where there is at least one pure devotee. And, you know, there are not so many pure devotees. And the other thing is that if we are capable of recognizing a pure devotee. And I was asking him about this. And Guru Maharaj, I think he understood that this whole things come from a judging mentality, and actually addressed this type of mentality. And he said that there are two types of pure devotees. One who is pure in actions, and one who is pure in intentions. And so just a few weeks ago, Shivaram Maharaj was giving class in Hungary in the Budapest temple. And I wasn't there, I just heard from devotees that at one point he said that you who are, you all who are here, you are all pure devotees. And, you know, it was, I also heard this type of thing mentioning before in another class. So I can really imagine the situation. And it's something which can be really shocking if we think about how a pure devotee acts and behaves in a different kind of situation. What is their mentality, their consciousness? But actually, this is what he referred to, that the devotees can be pure in intentions, and because we are on the way to become pure devotees also in actions. And so this is what we really should consider, that there might be very, very beginner devotees, but even towards them, we should be compassionate and not criticize, and be happy when we meet them, not to be angry at them, and so many things, because even in that case, the results can be serious. And you know, there was, for example, not Durvasa Muni, Dhruva Maharaj's story. So he wasn't even a devotee when his stepmother committed that offense. But even in that case, later she had to face the consequences. So it's very important that even if we think that, oh, he or she is not such a great devotee, he's or she's not in the core of the Lord's heart, but no, this is not the right mentality. So we really have to be cautious about our actions and about our thoughts of everyone, all the devotees. And the last topic, this is actually the biggest one, that here in the verse, it says that, not the verse, in the purport, that Shachimata thought that Advaita Acharya had persuaded him to do so, therefore she accused Advaita Acharya of this. And this one verse, one word really made me think about this, because many times we just think about the offense itself, but we don't think about the intention, the feelings, the thought which is behind the offense which we commit. Because there was Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he had this statement that when faults in others misguide and delude you, have patience, introspect, find faults in yourself, know that others cannot harm you unless you harm yourself. And we can see this statement from different angles. One of this is that, okay, am I such a perfect devotee that I have the right to see faults in others? But the other thing is that when I'm disturbed because of someone else's some kind of quality or action, why it disturbs me? Because I remember previously I had a colleague who was a very interesting person. Whatever happened around her, she was really never disturbed. And many times I was just like, how can this happen and that happen? And she's not even a devotee, but she was so calm and wasn't disturbed about this whole thing. And I really mean it that, I should have just think about Krishna, and she didn't even have that understanding, but still she wasn't disturbed. So if I am disturbed, then why I am disturbed? It's such an important question to ask. And so one thing which is worth considering is, many times it's not the case, but sometimes it used to be the case, that sometimes we are actually envious. I remember for many years I had some conflicts with certain devotees. It was I just sort of tell the situation. So I had some kirtaniya type of conflicts. And, we had some situations when we had conflicts, and later on, this really becomes a basis of other further conflicts. And, years passed, and then in another country, I just realized that, okay, here are some other kirtaniya devotees. And even if I don't have this past with them, I have the same mentality. And at that time, I realized that, oh my God, I was envious because of, I had some desire about kirtans, what I want to do, what kind of things, services I would like to do. I don't have the possibility to do that, but they have. And actually, not the first conflicts were the original reasons, but my envy. And many times we just want to have some talent, some kind of facility, some kind of association or something which the other devotee has. And it can result that we become envious, and actually being envious of a devotee is one of the offenses against devotees. And the problem is that there are some verses in the scriptures which connects these two things, envy and being friendly with others. So for example, here in, oh, this is not that, here. So in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, verse number 13 and 14, it says that one who is not envious, but is a kind friend to all living entities. So Krishna just connects these two qualities. And then he continues with others, and such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. In another verse, again, it's some qualities, and although he is not envious, but friendly to everyone, he should avoid company of persons who are not spiritually advanced. So again, these two qualities connected. Here, instruction should be given to the faithful devotee who is respectful to the spiritual master, non-envious, friendly to all kinds of living entities. So actually, these two things are connected, because if someone is envious, he cannot be friendly to others. And when someone sees everybody equal, then it's possibility. It's because of he sees the Lord in the other living entity's heart, and in that situation, I mean, with that understanding, he won't be envious, because he connects that person with the Supreme Lord, and because he sees the connection, then he won't be envious. He knows that everything is the arrangement of the Lord. So, yeah, and another thing is about envy, that actually there is something which we understand as envy in, how to say, modern culture or Western culture, I don't know how to say it, but it means that we would like to have something which the other person has, or maybe we would like to have it and want the other person not to have it. So generally we mean this when we speak about envy, but the scriptures says some other levels of, speak about other levels of envy. And the first, the most subtle level of envy is avagya, which means that we just feel that, oh, I'm a little bit more valuable than the other person. And the scriptures say that this is also envy. This is the beginning of envy, actually. The second level, which is more serious, that it's called upeksha, which is we start to fear that, oh, I don't like that other person, and I would like to avoid his or her company. So it's a bit more serious, because the first level was only in the mind. The second level is starts to manifest in actions also, but not so seriously at this point. So the third level is dvesha, and it means that I desire that something bad should happen with the other person. It's also in the mind, but it's more serious even in that case. And actually, this is the level of envy which we generally consider envy. And the fourth level, which is the most serious, is ninda, which means that we even start to manifest in words, in actions, in aggressive type of actions against the other person. So it's really serious, and it's worth considering that these four categories, how they can be paired up, with the levels of offenses to devotees. For example, this thing that, sorry, I just lost my track. So yeah, so the first when we just think that, oh, I am more elevated than the other, it will be connected that I won't be able to show proper respect to the other devotee, because I think that I am more worthy of respect. And the second one, it's when I just would like to avoid meeting that devotee. It's something similar than I meet him and I cannot be happy that I met that devotee. So they can, these relate to the other in some way. So it's really important to check our intentions while committing offenses. And the other thing, which is actually this is the reason even for being envious, that we have this desire to gratify our senses. Actually, you know, this is this is the reason for being in the material world. Actually, that we just want to enjoy the Lord's energy separately from the Lord. And previously, I already spoke about that I had an Ayurvedic treatment in the beginning of the year, and many times, you know, I can use it for different metaphors. And when I was thinking about gratifying our senses, I just realized that there was this, I don't know the word for this kind of treatment in English, sorry, but the main point is that I had to drink 1 deciliter of ricinus oil. I think this is how they say it. So this oil, it really, you know, when you have to drink oil, you can imagine that this is very difficult, even if we don't consider the taste. But I can tell you the taste of this oil is also terrible. So I remember that they told me at the Ayurvedic center that, okay, this will be really bad, but you just drink it, and after that you drink some lemon juice, and it will suppress the taste. But still, I was wondering, oh my God, I don't know how I will drink this oil. I don't think I would be capable. And then one devotee suggested me that she drank it in a way that by only drink 1 spoonful of this oil at a time, but, you know, try to put it so much down that even behind the tongue, and then I won't feel the taste. So I did that, but I can tell you, even that didn't work. And I was thinking that, okay, whatever way I drink it, it will be terrible. But actually, this is like what happens actually when we try to enjoy material happiness. This is the same like this oil. And we are thinking that, okay, maybe I will drink it like, you know, put some Sprite in it, then it will be better. Or I will drink it with a straw, and then it will be better. But, you know, we are trying this way, that way, the third way, the fourth way, and it won't be better. And imagine that at this point, you saw another devotee, he's a few meters away from you, and you see that, oh, he's drinking his oil, and it doesn't seem to be that disturbed. Probably he's cheating. His oil is something different, or they did give him the strawberry flavored oil or something like that. And we think that whatever he has is better than what I have. And if I will have whatever he has, then it will be better for me. Then my oil won't be that bad, and even I will enjoy that oil. Just because I see that he doesn't suffer as much as I do. But actually, everybody suffers. This is the material world. So there is no point to think that other devotees have better situations, or if I have the other situation, then I will enjoy it more. I want to enjoy it more. I can for a limited time, but actually sense gratification this way or that way will never work. So this is something which can be a root of Vaisnava aparadha, but just we should remember that everything is the arrangement of the Lord. So the other devotee is important to him. I am also important to him, and whatever he got is the arrangement of the Lord. Whatever I got is the arrangement of the Lord, and this is the perfect way of distributing all the facilities of the material world, the way the Lord intended to do it. So we really should trust in that. And this leads to the next topic, which is that whenever we commit Vaisnava aparadha, it means that we forgot the Lord. So there is one verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 16, verse number 2. It's when the Kumaras want to go to the spiritual world and meet Jai and Vijay, and these gatekeepers commit these offense to the Kumaras. And later on the Lord comes and he says that these attendants of mine, Jai and Vijay, by name, have committed a great offense against you because of ignoring me. And this is the important point here, because of ignoring me. So I read about this, that there is a word in this verse. Again, atikramam. So atikramam also means overstepping a superior personality. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says the word, the word atikramam used herein indicates that in offending a devotee, one neglects the Supreme Lord himself. And this is the point we must remember when we are at the point of offending a devotee, superior or any other innocent soul, that when we offend a sincere Vaishnava, we not only hurt him, but also the Supreme Lord who is protecting him. And because we forget that the Lord is in their hearts, they are in the Lord's hearts. And this leads again to this Sadhavo Hridayam Mayam verse. So these are the reasons for aparadha, Vaishnava aparadha. And I just would like to mention two things which are really important also in a practical sense in this regard. Many times I hear from devotees that, oh, I don't want to commit Vaishnava aparadha, but we really have to state the facts. And the fact is that this devotee behaved like this or that way, and we are just speaking the facts, and that really justifies my words, and that's a problem, because it's not a good mentality actually, because we should consider one thing, that we are in the material world, and in the material world there are these four things. That the first is that our perception is faulty. So whatever I see on the other devotee, is it really the truth? I really should ask myself, because generally we think that, oh yeah, I see what he really is in reality, but we don't see what actually happened, why it actually happened, what is his situation, what is his way of thinking. So we don't see anything of that at all. And we still think that I see the reality. No, I don't see it. But even if I saw, the second thing is that we tend to be in illusion. we make this bad reasoning about how we see the things. So I have I'm covered materially, and I have my own filters. So even with whatever I perceive is right, I might have wrong conclusions. The third mistake is that we commit mistakes. So, okay, maybe I saw everything and understood everything, whatever way it happened. But then many times I speak about it, but I shouldn't speak about it, or speak about it to someone whom I shouldn't speak about it, or I speak about it in a way what I shouldn't speak about, whatever way I shouldn't speak. And these are also mistakes. And, you know, sometimes happens the fourth one, that I want to cheat. I also want to cheat. That oh, but I'm a good devotee. I just stated the facts, you know, or I just tell it to someone who will agree with me, and you know, we can just criticize together. So there are these ways of thinking. And just a few days ago, Shivanand Maharaj spoke about in one of his podcasts the other thing, that when someone speaks about others' faults, saying that, oh, I'm just speaking about the facts. And Maharaj said that we shouldn't discriminate between criticizing and facts about others' bad qualities or others' mistakes, because why is it beneficial to listen to some devotees' bad qualities? Why is it beneficial? There is no point in listening to that. So just better is not to, if someone starts to speak about this topic, just kindly leave the situation. And the last practical point is that many times we also have this mentality that, oh, but I just would like to help. I saw the mistake in others, and I really would like to help, and just go and start to say that, oh, you did this wrong and that wrong, and I'm not to blame, not to be blamed. I'm really just trying to help. But even in that case, we should consider: am I qualified? I'm the. Is this my task? Should I do it? Another thing is that we also should consider that, can the other person accept it? Because if he or she cannot accept this, helping intention, then it will be just the seed of some further conflicts. And another thing, that many times when they cannot accept it, then I will feel offended. And if I feel offended in that situation, this is the best indicator that actually my intentions weren't so pure and helping. So just to summarize in the end, that we have a two-sided understanding, that we think that everybody should be good in whatever I am good. So if I don't have problem with some kind of aspects of spiritual life, then others also shouldn't have a problem with that. But at the same time, I think that, yeah, I have difficulties, I have hardships, but others shouldn't have that, because maybe I don't see whatever they struggle with. So we should forget this and should just be compassionate and understand that there are many things which we cannot see in others. And if this kind of thought comes into the mind, that I see some kind of fault on others, just not let the mind climb onto these facts. Just let it pass, and just that's it. Because otherwise, there is a serious chance that we will commit some kind of offense, which is, as we could see, is really serious, even in this age. So sorry, it became really long, but but I finished. Now I finished. Sorry.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Very nice points you mentioned, a lot of points. So one has to remember all this. Yeah, I like this very point that whenever we do Vaishnava aparadha, we forget Krishna. So that's why we don't see Krishna in others also. So that's really very nice point, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for this topic. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, if you have any questions or comments or realizations, you can please go ahead. Thank you so much. And please turn on your cameras if possible. Thank you.
Krishinka Lila.
Yeah, she posted. Yes, Mataji. Shall I read it out?
Yeah.
I'll read it out. Dear Radha Vinodini Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada, all goes to Guru Maharaj. Thank you for the nice class, and especially the part where you mentioned stages of envy. My question is connected with it. How to distinguish when we want to avoid someone because of envy, or when we avoid someone because of their, let's say, energy, mentality, or just intense, not really polite behavior, or where there is mix of both. Thank you.
Hi, Radha Vinodini. Thank you very much for this very interesting lecture. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for encouraging. Yeah, it's a good question. Actually, I really have to think about because you know, in the mind, many times there are so many layers covering which is the original reason of something. So I think one thing is which is important in this regard, that if it's how to say, if it's our duty to work together, to do service together with the other devotee, then if we want to avoid that, that's a problem. So that's an indicator of not so good mentality. Also, on the other hand, it's nice to discriminate between devotees, because I remember Bhutta Bhavana Prabhu once mentioned this topic, that when we don't discriminate at all, then it's this sign of the mode of ignorance. When we only see the unity, he said like this. And when he only see the diversity and don't see the unity, that's the sign of the mode of passion. And when we see the unity and the diversity also, that's the mode of goodness. And also, if we check out the scriptures, we see that there are so many verses speak about how to discriminate, actually, and to see the different levels of devotees. And it's important to also discriminate in some sense. But it's very, very important to see how to discriminate properly, because we should feel the respect towards everybody, but at the same time show this respect in a different way. And I also met situations when I saw that when I meet some devotees, it brings out some kind of bad consciousness in me. And if that happens, then I feel it's just better to avoid the association, but not because I don't like that person, but because my reaction is not good. And I don't want to commit any offense, because, you know, if there is some kind of conflict and I meditate on it, then it will lead to Vaishnava aparadha for sure. So sometimes it's beneficial to avoid close association. I would say that close association, but the mentality is important behind that. am I avoiding it because it's not comfortable? Am I avoiding it because I see that it takes my spiritual life in a bad way? And I really mean it that when that many times we can see that, okay, this has a bad effect on me. So many times it happens that I'm keeping some distance because I know that I don't react in a good way. And it's different from the mentality that I keep the distance because he's or she's bad in some sense. So this is my limited understanding in this regard. But I also would like to ask other devotees, for example, Sri Devi Mataji is here, who I'm sure has many nice points in this regard. So, dear Sri Devi Mataji, if you can also say something in this connected to this topic.
Thank you so much, Radha Vinodini. I really appreciate this wonderful topic that you have taken out. And, you know, it's so relevant what you spoke, because I'm struggling with this exact same thing which we spoke about just now. That Nrsimha Leela's question was like my question, you can say. I was just going to ask the question and Nrsimha Leela asked the question. First, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Gurudev, and all glories to your wonderful presentation. Thank you so much. You see, when we interact with devotees, as you have correctly pointed out, we have so many anarthas, we have so many of our own issues going on. So if someone rubs us up the wrong way, as you rightly said, it may be better to take a step back and think, how can I best act in the situation? And if the answer doesn't come up, at least be patient and wait for the answer to come by not aggravating the situation. So what you said, I totally agree with that. You know, better to steer clear of that situation until such a time as wisdom comes, or some realization comes, or you actually get some help, something to make sure you don't make offense. That said, we are meant to be loving and kind towards everyone. You know, all Vaishnavas, we are supposed to have kind, loving relationships with everyone. And His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj said, see every interaction as a cry for love or a gift of love. Yeah. So when someone is actually misbehaving and annoying us and irritating, they're actually calling out for love. You know, they're actually calling out for love because they don't know how to relate. They are miserable, they are hurting. And the only way they know to interact with others is to lash out or say something mean or be hurtful, offensive, because they do not know how else to relate, because they have so much hurt inside. They're actually very miserable, you know, inside. So in such a situation, it's like, whoa, what do? You have a choice. You can either react the same way and say, what is this, Mataji? Why are you talking like this? What have I done to you? You can do like that. Or you can just take a step back, and in our hearts, we can just say, oh, Krishna, I am really so sorry for whatever this soul is going through, what they're experiencing inside that is making them so miserable that they want to lash out at others. So please help me to overlook, please help me to be compassionate, please help me to walk forward in forgiveness so that it doesn't linger in my mind and affect my day, you know, and I'm not carrying that negativity, because they'll throw negativity at you. These people will throw their toxicity, negativity. They're just waiting for a chance to dump their negative, because it's so painful to have so much negative energy inside. They're just waiting to lash out at someone. So when we walk in forgiveness, we are free. We are no longer engaged with that person and we can carry on. So that's one of the things that comes to mind for Nrsimha Leela. That still doesn't mean it's going to be easy, because every time you see the person, you become very wary, you become frightened, you become cautious around them, you try to, you know, walk around eggshells. So in such a situation, what can you do? You can pray for them. You can ask the Lord to inspire you in your heart to be kind, compassionate, and forgiving. But in the end, we have to all protect our own mental, emotional, spiritual health. we cannot act on a platform we are not capable of. I mean, I'm speaking of myself. And the situation is so relevant because I will share with you what is happening with me. There's a very senior and a very elevated lady in terms of years, you know, in Krishna consciousness, a Prabhupada disciple. But somehow, I don't know whether it's with me, but I'm told that in general it happens that whenever we see somebody, we always offer pranams or we nod our head, offer obeisance, some acknowledgement. Her response is to totally ignore you. At least that's what she does with me. She just ignores everything. At first, I was taken aback, and then I thought maybe I shouldn't bother her, you know, because if she's getting irritated by my, you know. So now I'm sort of stepping back and not interacting. If she talks, I talk. If she says something, otherwise I just avoid because I don't know what else to do. I'm just sharing with where I am. But it hurts me, you know, to see a person like this, both for myself, because I like to have friendly relations with everyone. I'm that way a outgoing type of person. So for me to not have a good interaction with someone, actually it hurts me. So I don't know how to help her. I don't know what to do. So I'm just like sort of stepping back and waiting for some, you know, wisdom to come to me. So that I don't know, maybe I'm talking too much over here, but I thought I'll just share some of my ideas. I hope I've not talked too much.
No, we are so happy. At least I can say that I am so happy that you shared your experiences. Actually, it reminded me one thing that one of our god sisters once shared with me her story that she was in a difficult situation with some devotee that they had service together, but somehow there were some kind of difficulties. And she approached Guru Maharaj about this situation. And the Guru Maharaj's response was previously she just asked, different devotees' opinion, and that they had actually expressed two different kind of approaches in this regard. One approach was that just remain in that situation, in that service together with that person, because it's purification and it's good. And the other approach was that if it's so difficult, then you should just leave the situation. And she was puzzled what to do because, you know, even more senior devotees expressed these different kind of approaches what to do. And Guru Maharaj said that if you can tolerate the situation, then it's good because it's purification. But if you cannot tolerate the situation, then just leave it. And he didn't say it, but according to my understanding is that if we can tolerate, then it's purification. But if we cannot tolerate, then it will become offense. And I think it's so much to the point. I really liked this explanation.
Yeah, I think this is really wise advice, and I'm glad to hear this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Even I was thinking in that same direction, like instead of committing an offense, if we can stay a little bit away from them or just watch from the distance what's happening instead of going too close to them or to those people who we can't tolerate or like we find any faults. Like, so instead of that, better to stay away from their association. Will that help, Mataji? Like, I just want to clarify one more time. Or otherwise, we have to think like always, we have some problem in us, like we are not able to see Krishna, or we are not able to focus properly, or we are not able to see the good qualities in them. So like that, we have to think. That's what I will always think about that. So what do you think?
Actually, as I understand, every situation is different, but one thing is for sure that every situation carries Krishna's message, but in different situations, the message can be different. I had an interesting experience just this summer that there was a very, very young devotee whom I really had some difficulties with, and I had to meet her regularly and do some services together. And at some point, I just felt that I just cannot carry on. And so after months of thinking, and I really I prayed also to Krishna for some guidance, you know. But after months of thinking, I just decided that okay, I will just quit this kind of service. And the interesting two things happened after that. That within just weeks after that, I had this decision. Weeks after that, somehow that situation also was clarified. So even in that case, even if I stayed in the situation, it would have ended. But that situation helped me to have another direction and have service with the preaching department devotees. And actually, I got a totally new direction in my services, which was really wonderful and just led my life and my services in another way. And probably if this whole situation didn't happen, then I wouldn't have made this change in my life. So it was somehow, you know, like a push from Krishna to change. It was also interesting. I don't know.
Yes, Mataji, yeah. I think if you tolerate a little bit and stay in that situation, maybe Krishna will guide you to change the direction or to help you, like instead of focusing on those things, try to focus on other things. So yeah, good one, Mataji. Yeah, we should have I think little hope that little tolerance in that situation, so that will help us grow in Krishna consciousness. I think, as you said, like Guru Maharaj mentioned, that it's like purification or purifying ourselves. Very nice, Mataji. Thank you so much. Namrata Mataji, you can please go ahead. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to our dear Guru Maharaj, and all glories to the assembled devotees, wonderful devotees.
Glories.
Yes, and of course, one more wonderful lecture from you. Very detailed one, many subtle points. So thank you for the lecture. Then I really like the layers of envy you mentioned, which is considered as offense, the 6 categories you mentioned. So they were really interesting. And one more thing, the example you mentioned about that, drinking the oil. So another example was coming to my mind is like enjoying in this material world is again like, you know, tasting honey on the edge of the blade. It's like tasting honey on the edge of the blade. So yeah, that was one example coming to my mind. And yes, an interesting question by Narshingalila Mataji. So I also wanted to share one of my experience, which is not so good one, but regarding when this negative energy, when you're working in the temple, I mean, when you're doing service in the temple, and when this negative energy is coming from some devotee itself, then what do you do? So even I have faced such experience in the while doing the service. So usually what I chose was I stopped talking. I mean, you don't disrespect the person, but even stop talking over the detailed things. So detailed things as in detailed talks. You don't fall into the detailed talks. So when you remain on the surface, you still respect them. Then maybe their direction of frustration will change from you either to some another person. But I think there should be another solution for this, but this is how I found out that we can do something, because it's okay. Sometimes, as you all mentioned, there was some which you were finding difficulty was with some same same sex people. But if this situation, if we think of the situation with if there's some Prabhuji where we are facing this kind of issue, then it really becomes awkward to continue the services. So yeah, this is then in small things we even can take up to the higher levels. So I found out this way, not engaging in the detailed things or detailed talks with the people you find negative vibes or something like that. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your realizations. Yeah, actually, lately I just read something about what it means to associate with devotees, and it was mentioned these 6 loving exchanges, and I was struck at first, that actually those are the loving exchanges. How it comes to associating, and when I was thinking about this, then I just thought that, yeah, this is actually how we associate, because if we are in the same room with someone, it's not really association. Or I just say hi or Hare Krishna, it's not really association. But when we are revealing our mind confidentially, or inquiring confidentially, giving presents or receiving presents, those are confidential type of relationships. And if it can be that we are respectful, but don't practice these with that devotee. I mean, yeah, we can give, for example, Mahaprasad, that's always good. but these kind of loving exchanges might be a bit limited in those situations. And yeah, it doesn't mean that we don't speak with the person, but yeah, it's like that. So thank you very much for sharing your thoughts and feelings. Sri Devi Mataji, you have something more to?
Hare Krishna, Sri Devi Mataji.
I'm trying to figure out. Oh, there. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, this hand is up. Anyway, I did want to share something, but I forgot what it was because I'm busy packing to fly out to Mumbai. So when it comes back to me, I'll get back to you. Sorry.
Okay, Mataji.
Thank you.
Anybody has any more questions or comments? Okay, good, Mataji. Yeah, I think I just want to mention a little bit, like I have a comment. So I think, as you said, like to maintain our relationships with devotees, it's better to tolerate and so because if we always judge people and judge devotees and do offenses, nobody will come near us and do any relationship or maintain any relationship with us, or the same vice versa. So in order to have a good relationships, I think we have to forgive sometimes, and we have to forget, and also we have not to be a judgmental mentality. That's main thing I feel, Mataji. Because of a judgmental mentality, we make offenses. That's what I feel always.
Yeah, and actually, just lately I had this. We can say realization, but it's not such a great thing. But that I realized that devotees and also other people can be, for example, so happy when you praise something in them, and you might say just, "Oh, you look so nice in this saree." It's not just not such a great thing, and and people can be so happy about these small things, and not even the message is not even that, you know, it's about the sari or something. The message is that she was important for me, or I noticed something on her. Somehow my thoughts were revolving about her, and this is the message actually. And it doesn't cost anything. It just takes some attention. And sometimes these small statements can turn so much on a relationship. I remember there was, for example, one Mataji here, and somehow she seemed to neglect me a little bit. And it wasn't like a conflict or anything. I just thought that, okay, maybe she's not so interested in me or something. And then she had some kind of comment that, oh, she cannot wait for listening to singing me on some program. And I was just, you know, at first I was surprised that, wow, she thinks about me. And somehow, you know, the relationship started to switch directions, because I realized that she's not ignoring me. And then I also started to reciprocate differently. So these small statements really can have so great effects.
Yeah, we have to practice talking oftenly like this to devotees, like whatever we feel. Sometimes we notice some devotees doing something great and we don't even acknowledge them, or we don't even praise them. But yeah, this is very nice tip, Mataji. Yeah, I have to remember that, because we notice a lot of good qualities, but we don't acknowledge them, or we don't tell them openly. If you tell them, they'll feel good. And also, yeah, as you said, relationship will build and it goes in a different direction. Yeah.
Yeah, and it shouldn't really, how to say, it shouldn't be statements which are bad for the ego, because these are sometimes they are so small things. It really should just carry the loving feelings. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Sridevi Mataji, now you remembered what you want to say previously.
Yeah, sorry for being like all over the place here.
No.
Well, I was just thinking about, you know, what you said also, and what Radha Vinodini said, that things change over a period of time, you know. When I was in a very difficult situation, and it lasted for years, because I was surrounded by many old senior disciples who had been maybe very traumatized by so many things happening in the early days. And there was nothing I could say. I couldn't say anything. And I had to just carry on with my service. So I would always in my heart say, okay, Krishna, what can I do? Help me to tolerate, help me to tolerate, help me to tolerate. And that's all I could do for many years, because the situation was just like that. You know, what could I do? And very frequently they were harsh, they were mean, they were ungentle, they were unkind, they would be critical, they would never acknowledge, you know, anything I did. So it was like a whole bunch of negative energy. And I even remember asking my GBC, and he said, they are not going to change. So then the only choice is I have to change, you know. And the only way to change is to choose. Boy, I really grabbed those beads and chanted Hare Krishna. So whatever little Krishna consciousness I have today, I think it's because of them. So sometimes Krishna will put you in a very adverse situation, then you have no choice but to just, there's nothing else to do. And actually when you do that, you make advancement. So sometimes we have to go through these situations to really become humble, to become totally dependent on the Lord. And he does that to take away all our material attachments. Maybe I wanted name, fame, recognition, this, that, so many things. And they didn't care two hoots, you know, whether whatever. And I remember Guru Maharaj even telling me, why you want to do, I wanted to do so many things. He said, why you want to do all these things for people who don't even want you there? My mouth just fell open when he told me the truth like that. They didn't want me there. That was on Krishna's timeline, not mine. So I had to be very, very patient and wait for a long time. But because of that, I think whatever Krishna consciousness I have is because of them. So just thought I will share that. Thank you for
Thank
listening.
you so much. It's I wish I could be so humble to see situations like this. But yeah, actually, it reminded me something I just read lately again about this, that bhakti comes from bhakti, and it's not dependent on anything material. And so, yeah, obviously devotee association is needed, but not certain devotees association, as I understand. So what I mean is that, yeah, sometimes we cannot associate properly with certain devotees, but it won't cause any harm to our bhakti, because whatever situation we are in, we can do some kind of service, or maybe just chant, or just listen to classes, or hear or read or something. And fortunately, with this online world, we can have so much recordings and everything about classes. And so we have actually association to senior devotees, their wisdom, and we have so many possibilities to serve them. So luckily we got so many chances. So we just have to use properly these fortunate situations. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you. Thank you all devotees for a nice discussion. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah. If there are no more questions, I think we can end the call. So we are over time now. Yeah, thank you so much once again, Radha Vinodini Mataji. After a long time, you came to here to give class, and such a wonderful presentation and nice discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining.
Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Radha Vinodini, and thank you, Srimati, for hosting so nicely. And thank you to all the devotees for their deep, heartfelt sharing. I really appreciate Narsingha Leela's question, which triggered a whole discussion on this topic. Thank you all so much.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.